Coded 11, 18 2024s.
We live in one of the most reported eras to ever have existed in the history of our species. At any given moment, there's always someone who has something to say about what we said or did. We need to learn how to dissect what is being told to us. Today, I wanted to talk about discernment. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back to Endure, Believe, Rise. I hope this message reaches you in good energy. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. So we have an awesome quote here today. Let's get into it. Quote of the day. Similarly, receiving feedback is not simply about demanding feedback. It's learning how to receive positive and negative, then knowing how to act on that feedback when it's offered. Simon Sinek. Song of the day, Wheezy Baby by Wayne. So, as I previously stated, we live in one of the most reported eras to ever exist, if not the most reported era to ever exist in the history of our species, of our planet. Excuse me. What am I saying? I'm saying that the news is everywhere. It's on social media, it's on news platforms. We still have digital, we have digital versions of the news, but we still have printed versions as well, where you can pick up a newspaper. You also get news secondhand or even firsthand by talking to someone, where it comes from word of mouth, right? So information is widespread and it's everywhere. Same thing happens when we put something out into the universe or we do something. When we create and we put a creation out there, or I put a video, when we make music, when we make art in whatever form, whether that be drawing, writing, poems, paintings, all these graffiti, right? All these things are art, right? Plays, movies, quotes. So the point of what I'm saying is there's always going to be a critique to what you did. There's always going to be feedback. Some people are going to love it. Some people will feel indifferent, and some people are going to hate it. And that's pretty much the three avenues that go with whatever you're putting out there, right? Not only that, when we're trying to achieve a goal, when we're trying to move closer toward a mark, a objective that we have, so to speak, we'll have setbacks, we'll have failures, we'll have temporary, we must come back to the table with a new strategy. In these moments, feedback is crucial. What could we have done better? Where could we improve on? So today I'm talking about discernment of the feedback, not just receiving feedback, not just going to someone and saying, hey, what I should do better, and hearing him, but taking the process after that. When they give you the feedback, once you have received the feedback, breaking it down, if it's positive, if it's negative, if it's going to be something that's critiquing, if it's going to be something that is constructive. Constructive feedback is what we look for. Something that someone is telling us that is the absolute truth, right? But also gives us grounds and ways that we can get better. At the end of the day, it is very, very imperative that we know how to take positive and negative feedback. And I know what you're saying. At the end, when someone comes to you with something negative, there's a lot of, I will say, mindsets out there that say match energy for energy, right? Somebody says something negative, you say something negative back to them. I don't agree with that. I don't think you should go negative for negative. I feel like that drains you. I feel like that's wasting your time. I feel like you're being pulled into unnecessary battles, right? We always want to choose our battles, choose our conflicts, choose where we put our energy and our resources. So when you get said feedback, you need to know if it's positive feedback or it's negative feedback. And to me, there's only the two. And I don't have time for negative feedback. I don't have time for you telling me what I did wrong, but not giving me a way that I can improve it. what I did wrong, but you're insulting me while you're doing it. So all twofold also, right? If you're going to be the one giving feedback, you have to know how to give it constructively. You have to know how to give feedback of their shortcomings in a positive manner, right? So you can't just say you sucked and you need to get better. It has to be, you came in, you did with the best you could. However, you fell short on the goal. What you need to do is we need to improve your conditioning. The way we're going to do that is by setting up this training, and this training, and then we'll evaluate it at the end of each. You see how that says that your conditioning was not where it was supposed to be. However, we're setting up a plan on how we can get there. I didn't just, destroy your entire morale, by just giving you a blanket statement. A lot of people believe that because it's honest, it's okay if it's negative. Because it's honest, it's okay if it's harsh. Well, it's not. It's not okay. It's not okay for you to not know how to say hard things well. And sometimes the feedback is going to be very, very hard and very, 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 for lack of a better term, needing improvement in a lot of areas. Like it's kind of like I don't know why you walk through these doors, because you're nowhere near prepared. But you still need to know how to say that well, because people will forget what you said and people will forget what you've done, but they won't forget how you made them feel. And at the end of the day, you as a superior, we're hitting a lot of levels on this one, because we're talking about receiving feedback, but we're also talking about giving it, right? And when someone gives you feedback, it is imperative that you implement it. I will tell you this too, so I can wrap it up, because this is already a long video and I could go on this for days and days. There are people who I refuse to give feedback to anymore. And they're heartbroken about it and they're upset about it, but they also don't take the steps necessary to come back to the fold where I can give them feedback. If I give you feedback, you have to understand, this isn't me thinking big of myself, but you have to understand, I only have so many hours in the day. I only have so many minutes in the day. I only have so many seconds in the day. I only have so many days left in my life. You want me to use my energy. You want me to use my resources, my power, my prowess, my mental fortitude. You want me to take my perspective and you want me to give you feedback. Okay, I'll do that. But now I give you said feedback and you don't implement it. I give you said feedback and you don't follow up with me to see if you're implementing it correctly, if you're improving it. I give you said feedback and you don't use it. Now, I have just spent a portion of my life with you that I cannot get back. I have just given you resources that I could have spent somewhere else. I've just given you my time, which is probably, if not absolutely, the most valuable thing we can invest in someone. And I shouldn't be upset, right? I shouldn't see offense to that, right? You could at least pay me the respect at the end of the feedback session by saying, I appreciate your time. I want to let you know I'm not going to be going in that direction, that I'm going to seek a different type of feedback. I could at least accept that. But for you to take the feedback, not use the feedback, then come back to me and ask for more feedback is a slap in the face. It's one insult that I will not take. And I'll tell you, when you come back to me for it, I will say, well, what did I ask you to do last time? What was the feedback like last time? What was the discussion like last time? And what have we done to that? How have we done it to that effect? Show me where you've implemented it. And then after we sit there, and because we're going to get there, after we get to the point where it's like you haven't done anything with the feedback, then I'm going to ask you, so as an intelligent person, as someone who respects their time, their value, and their resources, if you were in my shoes, would you again implement the same strategy? Would you give the same effort towards someone who has not taken what you've given them and applied it in any area in their life? How would you feel if the shoes were reversed? So there are people who I have given the feedback to, I've given them advice, and they've actually absolutely gone the opposite direction. And that's okay. This is not me sitting here saying that I'm bitter or upset about that, But what I am saying is you didn't take the feedback last time and do anything with it. Why would it be different this time? You might get two chances out of me on that. I might say, you know what, maybe they learned their lesson, but I'm still going to have this conversation. Maybe they learned their lesson with the last person that they decided to go with the feedback over me, and maybe it's going to be different. You won't get a third time to do me like that. That's for sure. Now, this isn't me telling you, why. This is me letting you know, do not waste your time on feedback that is not valuable. Not giving it, not receiving it. If you have somebody who you give feedback to constantly and they have not done what you're asking them to do, and they have not implemented and show you where they tried and they failed and they need you help, then do not waste your time and resources on giving feedback again. This is also to say, if somebody is taking the time to give you feedback, you need to take the opportunity to implement it immediately, expeditiously, suddenly, as quickly as you can, and then go back and show them, hey, this feedback you gave me, this is what I did with it. That's how you honor the person that is giving you that feedback. That's how you honor your leadership, to say thank you. Because in some cases, that leader could easily X you off the team. They could easily decide, you know what, this person isn't worth my investment of my time, my skills, my resources, and they have not. So by you going back and showing them, hey, you told me I need to start doing more reps with less weight. I want to show you that I did it. I want to show you what it's doing, so forth and so on. Hey, you told me I need to have more study sessions with shorter amount of time instead of trying to have one long one in the week. I want to show you what I did it. I want to show you how I implement it. I want to show you what the effects are. Hey, you said when I cook, I need to start prepping this. You see what I'm saying with the examples? Show them that you honor them you honor their feedback by implementing it and going back. This is how you keep the street open towards your mentor, your superior, whoever it is that you're going to or receiving that feedback to, and you keep the stance in a positive light, and they stay in having a positive thought and perspective of you when it comes to feedback. Do not be the person who nobody can't tell anything to, who knows everything. Well, if it doesn't come to me this way, learn how to dissect any feedback that is given to you, whether it be positive or negative. It's not your job to sit there and say, hey, you need to talk to me better, so forth and so on, unless you're being absolutely disrespected, of course. But no matter what is happening, don't be the person that's not able to see the forest for the trees. Don't be the person that misses the diamond in the rough. Even if they're disrespecting you, correct it, but still take the feedback if it is valuable to you. Don't let their negative persona and their shortcomings keep you from your blessing. Sometimes God and the universe have to slap us up our side of our head for us to pay attention and stop, ignoring what needs to be done. Now, again, this is already a long video, so I'm going to stop there. The message is feedback. It's crucial. If you're coming up short, you need to see why you're coming up short and what you can do to come back better. And there's so many layers to that, but this is a good place to start. Knowing how to implement and to act on feedback when it's offered. All right, guys, I need you to take care of yourselves. Please be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.